Good evening, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Welcome to The Take here on the College Football Mafia Network, where we get together, we cover some of the biggest games from the previous weekend, some of the biggest news stories coming out of the previous weekend, and we give you our take. I am joined tonight by my friends, Just the Facts, Daniel Gygax. How you doing, Daniel?
Good.
Just the Facts, Daniel Gygax says relax. New
Yes.
short on the College Football Mafia. Check it out. And
Everybody that's panicking after week one shouldn't. It's one game. Just just
there you
relax.
go. And then, of course, the Big Ten Mafia's own Becky Go Huskies. How are you doing today, Becky?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm already in panic mode, so my team won.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's say hello to some people that rolled before we roll along here. Just Nathan was here. He says first. Congratulations. You were first. And Pitt sucks. Here's a blast from the past. Buckshot Kid, have not seen you around lately, Buckshot. Thanks for dropping in here and checking in with us. Good to see you. We've got Bob Swanger in the house. Penn State and Nittany Lions. They looked good this weekend.
Yep.
Sean is in the house. Good to see you, Sean. Fergie's here. He says, have a great show, everyone. Sco Buffs, on to the Blue Hens.
Who moved up from FCS?
Are they now FBS?
Yeah, this is their first year in Conference USA.
It's so hard to keep track of who's.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, I mean, Daniel Gorby, hello CFB Mafia, go Knowles. Well, that's going to be one of the things we're going to talk about. Believe it, Daniel, believe it. Nick Kelso says Tide sucks, loving that tea. Sergeant Pickle says, evening all, sorry to miss our first show back, but I'll see you next week. Go Dogs, absolutely. Good luck on the house. Sergeant Pickles is closing on a new house today, guys. He's still getting stuff moved in and settled, so congratulations, Sergeant Pickles. We'll catch you next week. Sean says Art struggled. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it. Yeah. Clint Moses says panic button has been hit. Fire the president and AD. They did lose to Cal.
Yes.
But I don't know that you fire the AD off of losing to Cal. I mean,
they got worked by Cal.
Yeah.
Worked. It was not close.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. Let's bring up the first story we're going to talk about. Texas toast. Here we go. The big matchup of the weekend, or the biggest ranking-wise. We had the Ohio State Buckeyes, who were ranked number 3 heading into this, hosting number 1 Texas, and Heisman hopeful, or destined Heisman winner, according to Paul Feinbaum, Arch Manning. Defensive game.
Yeah.
Seriously, defensive game here, guys. Actually, Texas outgained Ohio State offensively. Could not punch it in the red zone. Again, this is the same story as the last game between Ohio State and Texas. They get down first and goal on the 3-yard line, and end up can't punch it in with a 4th down with the tush push with Arch Manning. What did you think of this game, Daniel?
It looked like the defense for Ohio State just absolutely knew every play that was called. They really, really manhandled Texas. It really was Ohio State's, basically, I wouldn't say it's their Super Bowl for this year, but they really played lights out on defense.
Do you think it was more defensively or just offensive struggles on both sides of the ball?
You could call it that too, but it all depends on your perspective. You don't know if the offense just had a couple of jitters. It is the first game of the year. So people are trying to get things in position. People are trying to do different things. And I mean, Arch didn't look good. He didn't look good at all. But it's game one. I'm not too worried about Arch yet.
All right. What did you think, Becky?
Well, I think it was. I think the two defenses were really good. Nobody really got any separation, even on the, even on that 40-yard touchdown. It wasn't like great separation. He threw the ball up, and it was short, but it gave his guy a chance to come back to the ball. But I mean, he was pretty much tackled as he was falling into the end zone. And I think it's a tough ask for both these quarterbacks to play like right now, essentially being, a sophomore and a freshman. This is their first starts. Like, I didn't expect Arch Manning to go out there and be like his uncle, like either one of them, like right now, or even his grandfather. That was a big ask.
He played like his dad.
Yeah. Well, his dad, his dad was a wide receiver. So,
Yeah, I know.
But no, I think it comes down to the defenses are both really, really good. I mean, regardless, Ohio State stopped Texas within 5 yards in the end zone, but Texas still ran for like 100 yards on them. It was not like I think they had a 80-yard running back. Like, Texas could run the ball and get 6-7 yards. They just couldn't do it in that time frame, like at the goal line. That's just like, but Texas replaced all 5 offensive linemen, so a lot of things showed that we kind of thought. I'm still impressed by both quarterbacks. Arch struggled, but so did Sand. I mean, Sand had like 120 yards passing. He only hit 40 of them, a third on one play. So to say like Arch was really bad, like his wide receivers got no separation. He was under duress, and he was a little off. And I think it's a tough ask going to 100,000 people. The shoe, that's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know a freshman or sophomore first start, any player's first start ever that could do that. They'd all struggle.
Texas' next game is San Jose State. So
they should be able to bounce back.
Yeah, that's a bounce back. Yeah.
But it was interesting to me. Obviously, the secondary at Ohio State is lights out. Texas was replacing all their offensive linemen. Ohio State was replacing all their defensive linemen. So you had new defensive line against new offensive line. Really, it was a defensive slugfest. But Texas just, Ohio State bend, didn't break. And Steve Sarkisian even said after the game that, Matt Patricia had shown disguises he had never seen before. Schemed, a wonderful game. You didn't know whether they were rushing, they were dropping, they were coming. So, I mean, I give all the credit in the world to Matt Patricia on that defensive. And Steve Sarkisian, the defensive coordinator over at Texas, too, he deserves some, because, I mean, they stuffed the run. Ohio State did not get the run going. That was a huge difference from last season. And I don't know that I'm going to put the blame on the offensive line as much as I am the running backs. And listen, it's going to be hard to replace Travion Henderson and Quinshad Judkins. You got 2 second-round draft picks right there. So nobody's expecting you to jump in right away and do that, but missed some cuts, missed some holes. C.J. Donaldson, I thought, looked very impressive. He has slimmed down. He ran pretty well.
He was a really big guy at WVU.
Yeah, so they got him there, and they slimmed him down by about 20 pounds, and he looked good. So a couple quotes here from the game. Every time you get a 4th down stop, it's like a turnover. When you start getting 4th down stops in midfield, that's like getting a turnover. Texas was not good on 4th downs in this game.
They weren't good on 3rd down either, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Neither team was good on third down, being honest.
Right. And I mean, you're right. Sayin threw that ball a little short to Carnell Tate, but I mean, if you go back and watch the catch, Carnell Tate catches that ball twice.
Yeah.
That's a benefit of having amazing receivers at Ohio State.
I was going to say Ryan Day actually talked about that play, and that's what that's something that he said that they work on. If you can't hit them on the run, get the ball with enough air that the receiver can make a play.
Absolutely.
And like that's kind of smart coaching, like, and that's what he did. He's like, oh, short, but hey, my guy can come back and get that. So,
and I'll be honest. I think the reason a lot of this was a defensive struggle, I think both coaches really tried to protect their quarterbacks. They did not have, Julian saying they were up 14. They were not going to let him push that ball down the field. Lots of vertical or lots of horizontal plays. Arch Manning, here's a stat for you. Manning's percentage of off-target throws in this game was the highest by any Texas quarterback in the last decade.
I believe that.
I believe it.
And I know Daniel wants us to relax, but this is the same guy. People were screaming last year at Texas, why are they starting Quinn Ewers instead of Arch Manning? Quinn Ewers did,
like I said,
got in the playoffs.
Yeah. Their next game is San Jose State. They've got UTEP after that. Sam Houston after that. They've got 3 games to get everything pretty well set up, and then they've got to play Florida.
Confidence is key. He's going to build confidence as they get going. And
yes. I mean, we're not talking a San Jose State team that's great. UTEP hasn't been good for quite a while, and Sam Houston is I think this is their first or second season in Conference USA, something like that.
I will say this: their SEC schedule is a little, I would say, on the light side this season. They got to go to Kentucky, they got to go to Mississippi State. They got to go
to Florida,
to Georgia. You've got the Red River rivalry. That's a neutral site game.
Yeah, they got the Red River rivalry a week after Florida.
Yes.
And then they get Texas A&M at home. But I mean, listen, you're drawing Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and Kentucky. That is 4. That is half your SEC games.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good draw for an SEC team right there.
Yeah. Their toughest games will be Oklahoma, Florida, and at Georgia. Like, yes,
yeah.
Those are all coin flip, like, could lose and nobody would be shocked if they did either win or lose. Nobody would be shocked at this. I would say this though, the good thing about Ohio State, their quarterback, he doesn't make his first road start until later this month.
Yes.
Granted, he's got to go all the way across the country, and he has to play a team that hasn't lost in 3 years, so, at home. So it's not like
but I mean they get 2 tune-up games before then.
Yeah,
so
exactly. They got some easy we'll get some confidence kind of stuff going.
Yes.
But yeah, this is tough draw for any quarterback to get on the first, and this is tough for all college football. I mean, week 1, drawing this matchup week 1. Most of the ranked versus ranked matchups we had were actually close matchups. There were a couple blowouts, but most of them are close. Let's see what people in the chat have to say. Ohio State's secondary is magnificent, and Arch was quite scared of throwing at them because there was nowhere to go with the ball. Congrats, Moen. 1 interception, 1 got called back, which I disagreed with, but,
That was a tough call.
Again, he controlled it with his arms. If you're going to call that touchdown as a touchdown pass, he used the ground to catch that ball too. So, Sean, they didn't manhandle anyone. I would beg to differ, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're smaller than that. D line that front seven is smaller than Texas's O line by a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a yard.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous. They were at the one, could not sneak it in. They couldn't do anything. Like that's owning the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they did a lot with the linebackers though from Ohio State to get pressure. So
They did a ton of blitz. I was actually impressed by how quickly Manning's basically he's going from first read to throw because they're just on him.
Clint Moses, horns down, run arch like he's Cam Rising. I don't know about that. Come on.
No.
Poor Cam Rising. The man's 67 years old. Can we stop?
He's bionic anyway. He doesn't have anything left in him in his knees that's human. So
well, listen, we're going to talk about Utah a little later on. They've definitely got the solution. Lee is here. He says, hello, everyone. Big win for his Penn State Nittany Lions this week. I thought they looked really good, especially the receivers. Sean says, Texas went into Ohio State territory 7 times. Ohio State crossed Texas territory twice, scoring both times.
Yeah.
Yeah. We said that. We did say that Texas's offense was better than Ohio State's. It just could not punch it in.
Yeah, I mean, it really almost it reminds you of a Jim Tressel game. They got up, and then it was just defense.
Yeah.
But getting the dub is more important, you know?
Yeah.
Tawtown Hawk says Kansas keeping America safe from Missouri since 1854. There you go.
That's this weekend.
Sean's calling a hell of a shot here. I predicted Texas would be 3-3 after the Red River rivalry game.
So he's essentially saying they'll lose to Oklahoma and Florida.
Yeah.
See, I don't
know about Oklahoma because
that's always see, the Oklahoma game is always that's a coin flip.
Yeah. And weird things happened there at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah. Like, but Florida winning at Florida, like the way their defense played at Ohio State, Arch Manning's not going in there being intimidated. Now it'll be louder because it's just louder in the swamp because the fans basically sit right on top of the field. But he's not going to be intimidated by now. Like he just played in his first true road game. So.
Clint Moses says he wishes it was a shootout. 7-14 feels like a wash if we look back at from week 10.
Probably.
This is going to be considered a good loss by the committee, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's an SEC team losing.
Yeah, it's an SEC team. Yeah.
But it's great how SEC complains about Big Ten football all the time and how it's so boring and nobody scores any points. And
well, I mean, Sean might be right. They might go 3-3, and this will still be considered a good loss.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. Ohio State needs to fix their offense or they have a problem in the future. Finn, I think both teams held back their offenses. They didn't want to put too much pressure on their young quarterbacks. They both got tune-up games the next 2 weeks. I think they'll open it up. My main concern with Ohio State is figuring out the running game. The running game is really concerning. I think they only average like 2.6 yards per carry. That's really bad. It's
where Donaldson lost so much weight. He used to be able to punch holes through defensive lines. Wherever he's at WVU.
I'd be more concerned if he was getting hit in the backfield.
Yeah.
The front, the tackles, the 2D tackles for Texas are really, really good.
Yeah.
And their ends didn't really give up the edge too often, so they didn't bounce anything outward. I don't recall a run that was like going out to the sideline without it being stretched by the defense. So.
Yeah, I think the best run Ohio State had was Donaldson ran for like 5.6 yards one carry.
Yeah. They're just really good.
That's what I'm concerned with. But hey, we got tune-up games.
Yeah.
Again, I think they really kind of put the governor on both their offenses. Sean wants to know, is Hartline going to call plays or is Day going to continue calling plays? Well, it is Day's offense. Hartline just took over Day's offense the same way Chip Kelly took over Day's offense. I think they're going to open it up again. First game. Didn't want to put a bunch of pressure on Julian Sand. You can really damage a quarterback doing stuff like that, even long-term damage too. Their psyche. So
Yeah, I would also think that I don't think either quarterback had the green light to do any audibling. Just line up and
it's
go.
true.
Like, I don't think they could be like, hey, you've got the ability to do X, Y, Z. Instead, it's just do X, Y.
Absolutely. One last thing I want to point out. Perfect ending. Lee Corso was in the horseshoe, put on his first love, Brutus Buckeye. The best damn band in the land, spelled out Corso behind him. Huge respect to Lee Corso. The man went perfect this week.
6-0.
Every game he picked right. Right on Lee Corso, old Big Ten coach, used to coach at Indiana. Hell of a guy, great broadcaster. And now we end up with more Pat McAfee.
I was hoping we'd see another F-it moment.
Yeah.
Like put on the Texas hat and be like, fuck it, and then
throw it.
I want to see another one of those. That's my favorite moment of his. Like, you'll never top that because it was just so random.
Moving on. This is another one a lot of people commented on already. The Tide were rolled by the Noles. Number 8 Alabama, who Paul Feinbaum said was a national championship caliber team heading into this. Travel to Florida State. Florida State was unranked. Florida State whooped up on Alabama. Alabama did not look good in this game. What are your thoughts? We'll start with you, Becky.
Yeah, I think Florida State just came out ready to play, period. End of story. I don't think – I mean, the offense for Florida State looked fairly different than what they've had in the past. It's amazing what a mobile quarterback will do. They brought the kid in from Boston College to play quarterback, Castellanos. He was good at Boston College. Like, he wasn't terrible there. But you give him surrounded by this. I was more impressed. I'm going to say this. I was vastly more impressed with Florida State's defense than anything else because they didn't know essentially too much of what Alabama was going to run with the new offensive coordinator, and an offensive coordinator, by the way, who likes to just draw plays up during the week and put them in. They do that. That's what makes Grubb such a great coordinator in college. He draws up a play middle of the week and throws it in there. It's something people have never seen. He does like 10, 15 of those. So they came out prepared for like everything. They just dominated the line of scrimmage. And I thought that was the craziest part. Alabama's O-line was on their heels the entire game. They were like, it's like that sled drill that you see back in the day. And granted, it was pouring down rain at one point. It was like the conditions were definitely like not ideal for what you would expect in the state of Florida this time of year. But Florida State just came out. They were hungrier. They had the drive. They wanted all of this. And Alabama just basically acted like, well, we're Alabama. You're going to roll over.
What'd you think, Daniel? What'd you think, Daniel?
I picked Florida State because it was a 13-point game and think Florida State would keep it close. I didn't think Florida State would win. Bama next has Louisiana Monroe. Then they've got Wisconsin. If they played the same way they did against Florida State against Wisconsin, that'll be loss number 2. I've never seen so much panic from one fan base than what I saw coming from Alabama.
He is now 5-5 in his last 10, by the way, at Alabama.
Yes, he is.
Not good.
Yes. And you're looking at Nick Saban's not coming back to coach. Nick Saban he gets paid quite a bit of money to go do game day with ESPN. He's still getting paid money from the University of Alabama to be an ambassador or whatever the full title that he has is. He's not going to call X's and O's anymore. And anybody that they brought in, the next person that they brought in to take over for Alabama, that's the reason why you saw a lot of guys pass on that job. It would be a thankless job unless you won a national championship last year and this year. It's still game one. You still can put it together, but if they lose to Wisconsin, it's going to be, you're going to sit there and see a whole fan base just go nuts. And then the week after that, I'm sorry, they got to bye. Then they have to go to Athens, Georgia. So if they're 1-3 leaving Athens, Georgia, you're going to sit there and see the whole entire fan base just go nuts. Oh, yeah, by the way, it's a $7 million buyout for DeBoer.
$7 million isn't terrible.
70.
Oh, okay. Let's say 7. That's not bad at all.
I'm going to say this. They're not losing to Wisconsin. Zero chance they lose to Wisconsin.
Well, everybody thought that there was zero chance that they were going to lose to FSU.
No, but I would have said Florida State would blow out Wisconsin. Like, even prior to this. Like, Wisconsin's offense is bad.
Well, they lost for the third year in a row. They lost their starting quarterback first game of the season. According to Luke Fickell, Billy Edwards is out this week. I don't know what that means for their game against Alabama, but listen, Alabama, you got two tune-up games, Kalen DeBoer. You better do something because, like they mentioned, just 14 games, Kalen DeBoer has lost as many to unranked opponents, 4, as Nick Saban did over his entire 17-year Alabama career.
I would say this. If they lost this Saturday to Louisiana Monroe, I would hit, like, Alabama fans are going to just be done. Like, done.
And
they'll raise $70 million in an hour.
$70 million. Daniel, you're muted, by the way. $70 million buyout. Plus, who are you going to go get that coach? Because I see a lot of Alabama people saying, go get Dan Lanning from Oregon. No. So you're going to have to pay Dan Lanning's buyout and then give Dan Lanning a new contract.
Probably about the same, too. Like
Nick Saban's first season, he lost to Louisiana Monroe.
Yes. That's one of his unranked losses.
Yes. Now, if you look at Wisconsin's schedule, they've got Middle Tennessee, and then they have to go to Alabama. Yeah. So, I mean, they played Miami. I only watched a little bit of that game, 17-0. It's Miami, Ohio. If Wisconsin wins that game, you're going to absolutely see more panic than what we've ever seen out of the Alabama fan base. Whoever took over that job, it was going to be a thankless job.
There was nobody who would do great after Nick Saban. Nobody.
Well, there were a lot of people that passed on that job
because of that.
Yeah, I think DeBoer was
Norvell apparently was their first choice.
Yeah,
Norvell, and then they went to Lanning and DeBoer at the same time. Lanning decided not to do a second interview while DeBoer was like all in. So,
I want to say DeBoer was like the 5th or 6th guy that they called.
But here's a situation you got to keep into perspective here for that. All those coaches were represented by the same agent.
Yes, they were. And all those coaches got really good.
Yes.
Really
used that opening.
Lanning
everybody paid.
Lanning's the only one that didn't get a raise.
Sark used it to get a raise.
Sark used it to get a raise. Norvell got a raise, and then he ended up giving some back after last season.
Yes.
But I just listen. 4 losses in 14 games versus 4 losses in 235 games for Saban. Listen, you're right. Daniel, you make a great point. It's the thankless. How are you going to replace the greatest coach in college football history?
Exactly.
Let's see. Let's go back in time. Who replaced Woody Johnson at Ohio State?
Oh, you mean Woody Hayes?
Or Woody Hayes,
Woody
yeah.
Hayes.
Because he was the greatest coach of all time at Ohio State at that point.
At that point. Earl Bruce.
He was not good after that.
He was mediocre, but he could beat Michigan. I will give him that. And then they brought in John Cooper.
Who couldn't beat Michigan.
Who couldn't beat Michigan.
And then what happened when Spurrier left Florida? Spurrier and
Ron Zook.
Yeah, Ron Zook.
Not good. They were okay. They were still like in it, but they were not like winning it. And then you see what happened at Tennessee after their great coach left and retired. Wisconsin, their great coach left and retired. It's, Wisconsin's the only one that I think had any real success after their great coach left. I can do it in Washington. Even Don James retired and Washington went.
In a parallel universe, Rich Rodriguez would have taken that job at Alabama, and Nick Saban would have taken the job at WVU.
Yeah.
Because he was getting fired from the Miami Dolphins, and Rich Rodriguez, they agreed to it, and his wife said that she didn't want to move. She didn't want to move to Tuscaloosa.
Well, God bless Rich Rodriguez's wife for taking that Michigan job.
I mean,
that was it. That was the year later that he took the Michigan job.
Which, by the way, I do want to say, DeBoer's daughter plays softball here in Seattle, Washington.
Yes.
And he's at games, and everybody is when you're there, it's everybody's hey, good luck, do this, do that. But you can tell he is aged since he left Seattle. This job has put a tremendous amount of stress on him. You can see it when he's sitting in the stands, and you're dude, this job it's tough because it's Alabama. And I mean, I get that they lost. They got blown out. They didn't look like they belonged on the field. And I think a part of that is because nobody thinks Florida State was supposed to be good. Be blunt. Nobody thought Florida State was going to be great. Not oh, hey, they're a top 15 team. Nobody thought that. But, Alabama fans, if you sneeze and it costs the team a touchdown, they want you fired.
Yes.
They are just this is, and I say this, I am so happy that they now get to realize what the rest of us got for the last 20 years, that they now get to watch it happen to them. Couldn't happen to a better fan base.
Sean says, what's going on with Portnoy? I heard he's not allowed in any big stadiums. Is that true? And if so, why? I'll tell you exactly why. Fox Sports does not want him in any Big Ten stadiums because the Big Ten schools would not provide security. That would be on Fox. That would be an additional cost for Fox. If anything happened to Dave Portnoy inside one of those stadiums, that would be a liability for Fox. That's why Fox doesn't want him in opposing stadiums. It probably also doesn't help that he has a micro penis and nobody likes him. There's one fan base that likes Dave Portnoy out of 18 schools in the Big Ten. The other 17 can't stand him.
And it's that team up north.
Yeah. I'm what team? I'm he burned the bridge in Columbus. He burned a bridge in Seattle. He burned the bridge in Happy Valley.
Yeah,
he even burned a bridge in Oregon, which is impossible, but he managed to do it.
I don't even think they want him outside. I think the show he is doing is going to be an inside show.
Yeah, they're not bringing him every week.
They're not bringing him. So, I mean, liability security issues. I know On3's bullshit reporting. I think they've probably still got it pinned that Ohio State prevented it. Ohio State had nothing to do with it. It was fine.
Yeah, they came out. The school came out and said something he's not banned.
Oh, please,
Fox,
yeah.
Fox
Please put Dave Portnoy in the horseshoe. He's getting nailed with batteries. Whatever they can throw at him, he's getting hit with.
I mean, people forget he's a booster at Michigan.
He basically arranged that Bryce Underwood deal.
Yeah, that's his money paying for that quarterback.
Well, it's actually an Illinois billionaire, an Illinois alum. His younger girlfriend is a Michigan alum, and he bought her a person. He bought her a person.
It's weird.
Almighty Finn says Florida State is a better team than what was given credit for. Absolutely were, Almighty Finn, but I mean, they were coming off a 2-10 season. I heard a lot of grumbling from Florida State fans about Tommy Castellanos, and I think he turned out very good for them.
God.
The running game for Florida State, my God, I don't think I've seen an Alabama team give up that many rushing yards.
No. No, I don't even know if Florida State needed to throw the ball.
Yeah,
If they wanted 10 yards on a run, they got it.
230 rushing yards.
How many rushes did they have total?
Hold on, I'll pull that up.
Like, I bet you they ran the ball more than they threw it. Because this is what it felt like watching it.
Definitely. Castellanos had 152 pass yards, 78 rushing yards.
He's so good. Like, I knew he was good at Boston College, but she had no idea because Boston College was so bad. But he ran that Patriots offense because, that's who the head coach was. The Patriots guy ran the same offense at Penn State and with the Houston Texans. Like, you just didn't know how good he was. And you give him Gus Malzahn, like, good God. Credit to Gus Malzahn, by the way. Like, I think his offense is always great when he has a running quarterback. Doesn't matter who it is. Does not matter.
Interesting stat for Alabama. Jeremy Bernard, not Ryan Williams. 146 total receiving yards for Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah, believe it.
The biggest stat of the game, efficiency on 3rd down and 4th down. Bama, 6 out of 17 on 3rd down. They also had 3 stops against Bama on 4th down.
They rushed 46 times.
There you go.
See, I believe this. Jeremy Bernard was the number 4 wide receiver on the 2023 Washington Husky team. He was the number 4 guy.
Yeah,
he just got handoffs. That's pretty much what he did. He just hand the ball off and on an end around. That's all they did with Jeremy Bernard because he's fast as hell.
Lee says Alabama had no effort.
Yeah, they look like I said, they look like they thought Florida State was going to roll over because their name is Alabama.
Yeah, they went in expecting to win. Florida State went in preparing to win. Florida State did the best possible thing and hired 2 great coordinators to help steady the ship. Great hires and great effort. Gus Malzahn, you can say what you want about him as a head coach, but the man is a good OC.
I mean, look what he did with Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He was the OC of that team.
Daniel, no way they lose to Wisconsin. I agree with that. I don't
agree.
think Wisconsin's going to beat them in Tuscaloosa. If that does happen, he might be fired leaving the field.
He won't even get to a second. The AD will walk over and fire him if that happens.
Yeah.
Fired at the 2-minute timeout.
But it's a higher chance that they lose than maybe 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Wisconsin wouldn't be in the game. This year, I think Wisconsin, I'm going to want to see the point spread on that.
I will say this. Wisconsin played Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio replaced most of their guys.
17-0 was their final
17-0. And I watched that game start to finish. And I'm telling you now, they don't stand a chance against Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they lost their best cornerback to Miami last year. And Jeremy Bernard, the 4th receiver from Washington, it gets 146 yards against Florida State. Between him and Ryan Williams against Wisconsin with their secondary, it's going to be a bloodbath.
It's going
to be a bloodbath.
The only thing I'll say this, Wisconsin's probably going to own the trenches on the offensive side of the ball because their O-line is big. But Alabama did play this game without their star defensive tackle. That does need to be said. So things might change a little bit when he gets back into the lineup, but it wouldn't have changed the score that Alabama did. They didn't show up. So.
Yeah, I don't think it would have changed this game. Timothy Green says, can anyone tell me how Texas loses a game and are still rated number 1? I would like to know the answer to that one, please.
That's
Thank
on the
you.
FPI. That's on the FPI. So.
Yeah, that's the football power index. The numbers you're seeing next to the scores, by the way, also Alabama was ranked 8th when they played Florida State, who was unranked. Alabama is no longer ranked 8th, and Florida State is ranked.
Yeah.
Alabama is struggling with NIL. I actually believe that there are going to be other SEC struggling with it. Also, Joel Klatt was in Columbus this week doing a live show. He said it. Now that everybody can pay their players, it's evened out.
Yes.
And it's true. You just can't hoard players anymore the way they used to.
Saban a couple of years ago was sitting there saying, we need money, we need cash, we need to pay these players, pointing out Texas A&M's like, we got to outspend A&M.
No.
Good luck.
Didn't work out too well for A&M.
No.
No.
Almighty Finn says Alabama can right the ship if they win the next 2 games and beat Georgia. Yeah. Beating Georgia would be very good for them. Beating Florida would be very good for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State is going to throttle Wisconsin. And then David
he did respond with,
we don't play Wisconsin.
We don't play Wisconsin. That's
but
what I
if Florida State played Wisconsin, yes, they would throttle.
Yes, they would throttle.
No.
Troll grinding cheap clapper. Truly God is great. UCLA lost. Alabama lost. Notre Dame lost. Yeah, I don't know. I was happy to see Notre Dame lose, but I was more happy to see Ohio State win. For me, it's more about winning. Hi, guys. Nice win, Moan and Daniel. Sorry, Becky didn't catch the Washington score.
We won 38-21.
Did you guys cover?
No.
Okay.
No. Sadly.
Lee Smith, yes, says troll grinding cheap. You're forgetting that Texas lost 2. Absolutely.
Yep.
Different team. 2-10 last year, Moan, over 50 new players this year. Absolutely. But I think a lot of the problem last year was leadership. And, Mike Norvell was able to turn that around. I think he did an excellent job. Probably should have been the head coach of the week. Almighty Finn says Notre Dame can have a sad season, and the next season they don't get the disrespect that Florida State got over the offseason. Well, guess what? That's the luck of the Irish. The luck of the Irish.
Well, it also helps that Notre Dame can pick their schedule.
Yeah.
So it's loaded up with bad teams. Outside of the ACC, the only ones they don't get to pick. It's loaded up with bad teams.
Timothy Green says, can I just go ahead and say it, y'all? Horns down, horns down, horns down.
WVU is 4-3 in Austin, Texas.
Dave's here says it is just 1 week. Might want to slow down the judgments, honestly.
Hey, you watched my video.
You watch that video, Dave's here. But again, Kalen DeBoer, 4 losses to unranked opponents in 14 games. And let's not forget, they went in as huge favorites against Michigan in that bowl game last year. Yes. Michigan had, I think, 6 or 7 defensive players that did not play because they were getting ready for the draft. And Alabama had their Heisman candidate quarterback and Jalen Milroe, and they lost that game to Michigan. So I think the judgment, the hot seat on Kalen DeBoer, I think it's fair. He was left a lot of – there were some people that left. He did lose Caleb Downs. That was a huge loss for him. But, I mean, it's not like Alabama's not loaded with 5 stars and 4 stars.
No, that Alabama team has more talent than some conferences.
Yes. Yeah. That's Tiger Kings. Here we go. This was a big one. LSU number 9 played Clemson number 4. This was at Clemson, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Tough game for both squads. LSU edges them out 17-10. Claims they have the real Death Valley, and this actually snapped a 5-game losing streak and season openers. Their longest slide among Power 5 programs for LSU. That's huge. And they did it against a top 5 team. What do you think, Daniel?
Clemson, I had Clemson play for a national championship this year.
As did I.
As did a lot of people. It's game 1. Clemson's schedule is, is not difficult going from here on out. Yes, they do have to go to Georgia Tech. Yes, they have to go to Florida State. I'm sorry, that Florida State game is in Clemson. They do have to go to Louisville. They do have to play South Carolina, and that game is in Columbia. Clemson's next game is against Troy, so that should be a get-right game. If you're looking at, I thought that Clemson was going to win this. And like I said, I had Clemson winning the national championship this year.
All right, Becky, what did you think of this game?
This game was just this one felt a lot like the Ohio State Texas game. It felt very defensive oriented, which is weird because that's been LSU's like Achilles heel the last couple of seasons. Their defense was bad, like horrifically bad. But this year they went out and spent money on defense, and it paid dividends here. I just had to look because I was like, I don't remember Clemson even running the ball well. And yeah, Clemson had 20 carries for 31 yards.
Yeah, 31 yards.
Like, that's ridiculous. For everybody who doesn't know, I live near a hospital, so you guys hear sometimes the sirens for ambulances because I live near the major triage hospital. Anyway, so yeah, I just felt like this game was a slugfest. It was slow. I thought when Clemson jumped out 10-3, I was like, oh my God, this could turn bad like quick. LSU just flipped it on them and just, God, the interception was big. LSU managed to overcome 2 fumbles. Like, it's just an ugly game that was really fun to watch. It was really fun. It was a really fun game. I thought it was going to be a blowout when it suddenly was 10-3. But no, credit to LSU. They spent on defense and it showed. They would not have been in a game like this a year ago. So.
Yeah, defense really was fantastic in this game. And again, they held up for the offense.
Here's something else. Brian Kelly, I wouldn't say his seat is warm, but he's going to have to look pretty decent this year, or they might pull the plug on him. Like I said, not warm, but he's going to have to look better than what he did.
Yeah. It's a almost $62 million buyout right now.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. That was at the end of 2024. So probably lower, but still.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Telling quote from Dabo Swinney, it was a hell of a game down to the last play, right out of the gate. It's like getting the final exam day 1 of class. They made a 65. We made a 58. Neither one of us were great.
Nope.
I beg to differ on that one because I think LSU's defense played great. I don't think it was just that the offense for Clemson wasn't great. I think the defense from LSU was really stifling. But let's get some comments on here.
Yeah.
Try and move through these a little quicker. I just didn't think Clemson looked like they were competing. Again, they were a very big popular pick among people for national championships. So maybe that rat poison, as Nick Saban would say, got into them.
Yeah.
Clemson fell flatter than anyone considering their QB. LSU looked almost to be the best overall team of the weekend, other than the fumbles. Got to clean up the fumbles. Go Black 45 says, finally getting to the real game of last week. There were a lot of great games last week, but that was a good one too. Shoe leather ugly. Dabo wine tastes real sour to me.
Not MD 2020 bad, but it's
no,
bad.
not MD 20. Ref robbed LSU of a touchdown. Yeah, we're not even gonna get on the refs.
Yeah, the refs have been bad. We know.
Yeah. Not unless he goes 6-6, he's got one more year.
Yeah.
I think though, if they go like 8-4 or 9-3 and they miss that playoff, it's gonna be that seat's gonna get hot, like quick. He's got to make a playoff this year, next year. He has to.
It's 110 miles to the hospital. We have a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Get it? Great Blues Brothers reference.
Yep.
Are those Tarletons?
Those
Not
Tarleton cigarettes. Absolutely. Hey, by the way, Tarleton State is 2-0, guys.
They beat Army.
Beat Army this week. Got an FBS upset. Look out for the Tarleton State
Texans.
By the way, that
Texans,
video, that video of them in the locker room I love it. That was great trolling. I was like, oh my God, we destroyed someone's parlay. I was like, oh my God. We ruined your parlay.
Ever since we ended up picking Tarleton State, they whooped up on Portland State, and then they beat Army. So they might be our team. Huh?
A high school team might be able to whoop up on them.
Yeah, but Army went 12-2 last year. So we're not talking
no, we're not talking a slouch American Conference team. No.
I had them to win the conference too this year. So oops.
Joseph Kurlagon Jr. says, what has not surprised me is how many schools have caught up to the schools in the SEC. The SEC needs to go big in the NIL game or be middle of the pack like the 1980s. They are going big. Problem is there's only so many players to go around.
Yeah, problem is they're going big, but you have schools in the Big Ten and major cities now, and they have more money. No offense to the South, there's just more money in the Big Ten, just like all around, which I don't know if we're going to get to it, but I mean, like, there's already a complaint in Big 12 country about somebody's spending habits.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. If Texas Tech wants to spend a lot of money, if BYU wants to spend a lot of money, let them spend a lot of money. It just means that everybody else in the conference has to spend money.
I'm like, people say that, and I'm like, you're not in a conference with Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, USC.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and some of it, being a power school, yeah, you still have to pay players, but you do get a lot of recruiting benefit from that. So, Mitch Blanton says, I've attended games at both Clemson and LSU. There is only one Death Valley. It resides beside the Mississippi River. Hey, until Clemson beats them, that's a fact. That is a fact. Hurricanes humble the Irish. This was a close game, even right towards the end.
This is the funnest game out of the big matchup.
Yes.
Anytime Notre Dame loses, it's a fun game.
Well, no, that interception that went off the guy's foot.
That was wild.
That will be the play of the year. That will always be the play of the year.
We had the catch of the year in this game.
Yes, we did with the one-handed. Yeah, the one-handed. Yeah.
The one-handed catch by the former LSU and Liberty player, like, that was insanely good. I was like, oh my God, he caught that.
Yeah.
You know, I was texting back and forth with Greg during this game, and he said, "Did you see that catch?" And I'm like, I was actually more impressed with Carson Beck's pass on that he was in the middle of getting tackled. He was falling backwards, and he still made that pass, and with enough stability for that kid to catch it. I mean, it was a great catch. I'm not taking anything away from the catch. Best catch of the year so far. I'm sure we're going to get some more outstanding ones, but
the interception was probably the best interception I've seen in quite a while.
I don't know that thick interception by the Buffalo player was pretty good too.
Oh yeah. But that one that went off the foot, that
one also went off the foot. That's why it was so crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Of course, he didn't tip it to his teammate, but still.
True.
And this is another close game between top 10 opponents. Notre Dame was ranked 6th at this point. Miami was ranked 10th. Miami quarterback Carson Beck became the 7th consecutive quarterback to win his Miami starting debut. Their last 7 quarterbacks have won their starting debut. That's saying something. That's really saying something. But, I mean, this was a back-and-forth game. I thought the Carr kid looked pretty decent.
Good. God, I thought it was really good in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Love was a little bit MIA. I don't think they did enough with him.
Yeah.
So
I mean he had 10 carries, 33 yards. Carr had 11 for 16. Technically, Carr had the most carries, not the leading rusher. But they only had 94 yards rushing as a team.
Yeah. And Jeremiah Love is considered by many to be the top running back in college football. I consider him the top running back in college football. It just seemed like they didn't have enough plays with him touching the ball. 33 yards carrying. I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me.
I was just looking. He had 14 total touches because he had
14
receptions.
total touches.
Yeah, 10 carries, 4 receptions. He ran 59 total yards of offense, which is not.
And he's the best player on your team.
By a mile.
Yeah, and you can't scheme to get him. But they were in it towards the end. Miami's defense came through at the end. Sacks of Carr. Couldn't get that last playoff. Not that I think they would have got that last playoff for a touchdown or anything, but God, it feels good to see Notre Dame lose. And that's a two-game losing streak for Notre Dame so far. So
yep. Notre Dame's off this week. They've got to A&M the following week. Purdue.
Yeah.
Going to Arkansas. I mean, their schedule. If you look at their schedule, I wouldn't say super difficult, but they got enough winnable games that they could probably win 9.
Yeah, like A&M, USC, NC State, all in the same stretch right now.
And what they'll end up doing is if they go 9-3, the committee will put them in.
Oh yeah, they'll put them in over a 10-2 Big 12 or 10-2 ACC team.
Oh, for sure.
Yes,
for sure. Because of the number of Power 4 teams they are playing, which they are playing. I'm just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're playing 10.
Yeah.
So they got a big. So they got Big 12 schedule. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much. But I thought their schedule would be harder this year. Boise State, because Boise State's on their schedule.
Yes.
We'll talk about Boise State coming up.
We'll talk about them, but their stretches though, just so you guys are aware, it's home with next week, home with A&M, home with Purdue, at Arkansas, home with Boise, home with NC State, home with USC. And then they have Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse. Syracuse might be sneaky good. That might be the one.
Yeah, Syracuse struggled a little bit against Tennessee, though, so
that's why I said could be sneaky.
It was close at points. Points. Yeah. Sean says, don't worry, BYU is spending the money.
We know.
Dave's here says, that catch was the most beautiful one you'll see.
It was great. It was
so
really
far.
good.
So far.
So far. Marcus Freeman should be ashamed of himself. They talk about how great their running back room is and then only gave him like 15 carries combined. Yeah, I just missed opportunity. I don't understand it. Unless he's injured and we don't know about it. Darth Ducky says, what's up? Dan Lanning's also spending money, if you didn't know. NIL and the transfer portal are making it super tough to have any legit preseason rankings. There is no way to predict a team when 25% or more of their starters are brand new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
ESPN uses the FPI. The rest of it, I could say don't put out a preseason top 25. That's not going to stop people.
Yeah, but the FPI is garbage. They have Texas still number one. And if I remember correctly, they lost at the Horseshoe. And I watched that game. I saw them lose. They're still number one. So, yeah, their math isn't mathing.
New ESPN analyst Josh Pate, I believe, has on his power rating has Texas 1 and even has Alabama ahead of Florida State.
Yes.
Power ratings are complete and utter garbage. They're just
Yes.
stupid. I don't understand why people use them. And you can't convince everybody who makes one. You cannot convince them that they're wrong. Even after a team loses twice, they still think, oh, if they play again, they're going to lose. And you're like,
Notre Dame only gave Love 10 touches, not nearly enough. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. A lot of outsmarted themselves by not using their best players to their full potential.
It's week one, so a lot of it is that they're still trying to dial in game plans.
But I mean, even as a decoy, they didn't even use Jordan Love as a decoy well.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think of it this way. The NFL, you've got 3 preseason games, so you can work a couple things out. You don't have any of that for college football.
Darth Ducky says, I used to know who was on the rosters. Now I don't care to keep up. Well, I'm sure Oregon will be expecting an NIL payment from you soon, Darth Ducky, because they are spending money. Dave's here says 9-3 Notre Dame isn't getting in. I will take that bet. They would get in.
Here's the thing. They're Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is losing. Notre Dame losing is glorious every single time. Sorry, not sorry, Lou Holtz. Yeah, I told Becky shared a clip in Big Ten Mafia chat today with Lou Holtz talking to somebody, and she said, well, where does this hate for Lou Holtz and Ohio State come from? This is interesting. Lou Holtz is 88 years old. The last time Notre Dame beat Ohio State was before Lou Holtz was born. 1936. And Lou Holtz is a former assistant of Woody Hayes, but I'm saying that's why he's always been a Notre Dame man, always will be a Notre Dame man, and that's why he hates Ohio State.
I could not believe that they've only played 9 times in history, and Ohio State's won 7 straight. And yeah, they haven't won since leather helmets. Actually, they might not even worn helmets back then. It's so long ago.
Since Franklin D. Roosevelt was president.
Yeah. He was like in his first term. Yeah. Like first term. That's wild.
Go Black 45 says I say watch out for Pitt late in the year.
Why?
They're gonna have
I'm biased. I'm too biased to say anything nice about them. So.
Go Black reminds us Josh Pate is with On3 and Yahoo and CBS. I thought he was doing something.
No, he's doing ESPN now. He's been on Pat McAfee and a few other shows.
Yeah, but being on Pat McAfee, Pat brings in people from all over.
Yeah, but he's labeled as an ESPN analyst. When I saw him the other day, it was ESPN analyst.
When you have a quarterback that's never started a college game before, you should be leaning on your stud running backs. You absolutely should. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Do not get it. Do not understand it, guys. But we're going to move on. Congratulations to the Miami Hurricanes. Big win for them. Big win for Mario Cristobal.
By the way, Cristobal had no idea Miami or Notre Dame had a timeout late in that game. That's a problem. It's still a problem because he was mad when they called timeout. He's like, "What are you talking about? They have a timeout." Like, you clearly make out his lips. Why the bleep do they have another timeout? He had no idea. So bad.
Cristobal, clock management, late game decisions. I really hope that doesn't bite him in the ass at some point. Speaking of competitive games, Frogs jump all over heels.
We did the watch party Monday.
Yeah, Belichick got a call for his girlfriend. He's sad. TCU, listen, I put money on UNC. I did a 6-leg same game parlay. I lost it midway through the first quarter. UNC comes out, looked masterful starting out. They just moved it down the field, and everybody was so crisp, and I said, here we go. And then TCU scored 41 points on them.
Yep.
And the interesting stat of this game, TCU's 41 unanswered points took up over 44 minutes of game time. Literally 3/4 of the game was spent TCU scoring on North Carolina. Bill Belichick was his usual exuberant self on the sidelines. Sonny Dykes, he said it. I think we felt a little disrespected, maybe coming in there. There was a lot of conversation, and none of it was about us. I think we were all highly motivated. Hoover might be the best quarterback in the Big 12.
I'm not ready to say that. I'm not. Probably the best stats.
Yeah.
I think
they
TCU's
didn't
got a real
like
shot.
8 times like a certain team. But.
Right. I think TCU's got a lot of shot to win the Big 12. I had him completely. Really yeah, I had him completely written off. I thought the Sonny Dykes getting to the playoff the one year was a complete fluke. Was just kind of one of those Cinderella seasons that every team has where they won a bunch of close games. And, Sonny Dykes wasn't the guy, but, they just absolutely beat North Carolina pillar to post.
No, for me,
let's put it this way. Greg stopped his watch party about middle of the fourth quarter, and we stopped ours about, I think there was like 6 minutes left to go in the game, and we're like, yeah, this is pretty well done and over with. It was sad to watch if you're a UNC fan. They just ran over top of them.
I'm going to say it out loud. Did anybody see TCU's defense being that good?
No.
Their defense has been atrocious.
Especially if you watch that first series, that where UNC just ran it down the field, I think in like 2 minutes and change. Yeah. Just scored.
Like 10 plays in 2 minutes. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. And it was like, okay, this is going to get ugly quick. And then TCU said, okay, we're going to end up, it's like, we're going to beat them.
We're going to beat you. They didn't just beat, when they put their foot on the gas pedal, they backed over them a couple of times too. Like, they just never stopped. Like, they went full NASCAR track and just kept going, making that left turn, and ensured that they hit him one more time. I thought the defense for, again, Belichick's defense works great in the NFL because you don't have to make a ton of adjustments. They made no adjustments. None. They just kept doing what they were doing, and TCU's wide open.
Here's the thing. How many college games has Belichick coached?
Well, his son or him? Because his son has a whole season.
Bill.
His son is the defensive coordinator, has a whole season under his belt.
Bill.
So,
that was the first game he ever coached
as a head
for
coach.
College ball. Yeah, as a head coach.
Because he coached at Navy.
He coached I think 2 years at Navy
Yeah.
as I want to say defensive line coach, something like that. But here's UNC's next 3. They have to play at Charlotte, UNC Charlotte. They've got Richmond at home, and then have to go down to the bounce house at UCF. So UNC Charlotte, Richmond are get right games. If they could turn around and look semi-decent, they go down to Orlando, they might be able to look okay.
Here's the biggest stat. TCU had 542 yards of total offense.
Yes, they did.
For a Bill Belichick coach team, I understand it's his first college coaching job as a head coach. I understand he totally didn't use nepotism to hire his son as defensive coordinator. That is atrocious. That is atrocious, and I'm sorry, Bill Belichick. Like they say in The Godfather, he must be playing too much comedy with that young girl, because that team, outside of that scripted play set at the beginning, they looked completely overmatched. They looked like they did not know what they were doing. They were flustered multiple times. For a Bill Belichick coach team, that I don't know if Bill Belichick just did this for the paycheck and guarantee that Steve gets his spot as his successor. I don't know, but you're the next 2 games, they have to show some kind of improvement. If they lose one of the next 2, it's going to be an ugly, ugly season in Charlotte.
I think we're going to see a quarterback change, because I think they played the wrong quarterback. Lopez.
Yeah, their quarterback did not do well.
He was horrible. Johnson came in and looked
13 of 12 with 1 interception.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you go 4 of 10, 69 yards, 1 pick? The other guy comes in, Max Johnson, son of former Super Bowl winning quarterback Brad Johnson, comes in, goes 9 of 11, 103 yards and a score. And he looked good doing it. Like, it was crisp.
Here's your stat of the day.
It's not mobile. Like, I get it.
Here's your stat of the day. He is older than Jordan Hudson.
Yeah, he's in his 6th year.
Yeah.
Mr. Monkey says there aren't 3 excusable losses on Notre Dame's schedule. Doesn't matter what the losses are. It's Notre Dame. The committee will put them in. I don't like it any more than you do. FF18 Buff says, Becky, timeouts, are you supposed to use all those? Just asking. Love Colorado. Hey, how about Frank Reich against Hawaii when he has
that was awful.
Timeouts and doesn't use any of them except one at the end of the game to try and freeze the kicker on the game-winning field goal. Don't make TCU feel disrespected. Michigan, Colorado, now North Carolina. You're right. I think that's great for TCU. But the problem is now people are going to see them coming. You can't be the underdog all year. Lee said, that first drive for UNC, I said, man, this is about to get ugly. It did. Just not the way I thought.
Yeah, the same thing with me and Nate.
Yep, I was already counting my money.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be bad. It was.
Have they fired Jordan yet? They have not.
Jordan's their big money guy.
No, wrong Jordan. Jordan Hudson.
Oh, Jordan Hudson.
Jordan, the 24-year-old Jordan.
Well,
not the number 23 Jordan.
She was on the sideline. There was a video of her on the sideline, and people were like, "Is she asking her boyfriend there for some pennies to get a hot dog?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
I was surprised. I didn't watch the whole game. I'll be honest. At halftime, I turned it off. I watched Pulp Fiction after that. But, I mean, it was just like, I was surprised they did not show her more. I thought for sure this was going to be like Taylor Swift at a Chiefs game. We're going to get 15 shots of Jordan on the sidelines or in Carolina, and at least the parts of the game I watched, to their credit, ESPN didn't do that.
Well, I mean, she's very much different than Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is on to draw new viewers and new, people. And they're going to show her. They showed her a ton during the Nebraska-Cincinnati game. So, like, she draws an actual audience. Jordan, on the other hand, she draws
my daughters, my 22 and 17-year-old daughters, last year was the first time that they even knew that Kansas City had a football team, much less cared that how the Chiefs were playing.
Thank you.
And all because of Taylor Swift.
I'm like, my niece would have been the same way if her dad wasn't from Kansas City, because she didn't. Yeah. She doesn't know who plays in the NFL outside of Seattle and Kansas City.
Dave's here says that's funny. I thought she took the hot dog for the money.
Guys are evil.
TCU plays Texas tomorrow, neutral field. Who wins? Is this a crazy question?
Texas.
I don't know if TCU can throw the ball. Like, they just held the best receiving core in the country to like 125 yards total.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what TCU is going to do.
I think I'd probably take Texas, but I think it would be a lot closer than people think. It would be a lot
closer. It would be high scoring though.
I do agree with that. I think though, hey, TCU, they play with a chip on their shoulder, so maybe that would be enough to get them over the hump, and they would beat the Longhorns.
Also, are we talking neutral site? Is that Arlington, or are we going to put it in the down there in San Antonio, Alamo Dome?
I'd say Detroit. We'll put it in Detroit at Ford Field.
It wouldn't matter. I think that Texas would still win that.
I don't think it matters either.
Moving on, something to crow about Virginia Tech. Number 10, South Carolina, goes into Virginia Tech, charting his own path. Shane Beamer, his dad was at the game. His dad actually got presented with the game ball by the quarterback.
Yep.
From South Carolina. Very fun thing was an ill-advised punt by Virginia Tech triggered a re-kick. Shane Beamer said, go back, re-kick it. Re-kick it. Vakari Swaim took full advantage with an 80-yard punt return touchdown. A classic Beamer-esque break that put the game out of reach for the Hokies. How great is that you got Frank Beamer there, you got Shane Beamer there, you get a special teams play that scores a touchdown. Just really fun. This was a fun game. It was a lot closer than the final score shows. A lot of the first half was the running quarterback for South Carolina getting it done with his legs. South Carolina, a lot of people were picking them as their dark horse to win the SEC. What did you think of this game, Becky?
Oh, I love this game. This one was fun. I was like, it was 7-2, and I joked with you guys. I was like, so, at what point, what did they do? Just hit a 2-run home run, try to bring this thing into like closer. I thought Virginia Tech was going to get blown out. They played with great heart. They played extraordinarily well defensively. You give up 17 total. You give up 17 points to a South Carolina team that's supposed to be really, really good. I'll take that. Like, I do think the ACC is top to bottom better this year, and they're showing it. Now, granted, it's one weekend, but every big game that they had, it's tight. All good games, and outside of Carolina, but every conference had one of those where you go, it's kind of weird. No, I loved it. I will say this though, for it being in Georgia, the stadium was not sold out. I was a little surprised by that. Can I just say that? Like, I thought South Carolina fans would travel to Atlanta, and actually, because it's not that far. I mean, it's a few hours. I would have thought they would have been there and had more fans. Virginia Tech is it's out in the middle of nowhere, but Virginia fans, Tech fans, I thought they would have flown in and it would have sold out in that stadium. But the atmosphere was great. I love that Frank Beamer wore a Virginia Tech pin while supporting his son. I was like, hey, we're in South Carolina gear, but now he's got the pin. So we all know he's with Virginia Tech. It was just a good game. This was just a very good game. Came down to one blunder, and it cost Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's about a 3-hour drive from Columbia, South Carolina to Atlanta, give or take. And Virginia Tech just, I mean, they looked really flat. You talk about a team that fell on hard times. Virginia Tech is not the same Virginia Tech whenever Frank Beamer was there.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And this, we go full circle back to Alabama.
Yeah.
They didn't make the right coaching hires.
No.
Once Frank Beamer retired, they never made the right coaching hire. I've been saying it all off season. Virginia Tech should have went out last year, told their boosters, give us all the money you have, and got Shane Beamer to come back and coach Virginia Tech. They should have.
I don't know if they could. I don't know if they could afford them.
I know,
well, they can't now. I think Shane Beamer signed an extension.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
he did.
Shane Beamer get an extension like fairly recently.
He did. Whenever everybody was scrambling for the Alabama job, he got an extension then.
Yeah, but they should have went out there. I mean, Virginia Tech. I know Virginia Tech fans say I hate on Virginia Tech all the time, but listen. They have not been. You're right. They just haven't been the same Virginia Tech since Frank Beamer.
And Virginia Tech's next game is Vanderbilt. And Vandy actually looks like they've got a pulse. They actually look like they care about football. So that right there is.
I mean, Vanderbilt in non-conference always looks good. It's Vanderbilt in conference that we go, oh yeah, that's Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not a gimme game anymore. Vandy can go in there to Blacksburg and win.
Oh, they could.
Old Dominion has beat Virginia Tech on more than one occasion. That's the game after that.
William and Mary has gone in there and beaten.
Yeah. Then they've got Wolford, NC State. I mean, here's the problem that Virginia Tech has is they're just not the same team that they were 10 years ago.
Yeah. They used to have Virginia Tech under Beamer had the Tidewater area of Virginia, which is where most of the talent is, just completely locked up.
Oh yeah. And if you went to
Hampton, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, and get the best players and just go out and you would just go out and play with them and be like, hey, we're the best team. You're not going to beat us. But he cannot.
WVU used to recruit that area heavy, and then Virginia Tech started getting good, and Virginia Tech just out recruited WVU in the Tidewater, and it was lights out. I mean,
once Vic came along, it was like, oh yeah, here we go. Everything's under lock and key.
Yeah.
And then he retired, and the new coaching staff didn't put in the same emphasis, and those players are playing everywhere else, and they're playing really well for everybody else.
I bet. Well, you were stationed there in the Tidewater area.
Yeah.
How many Virginia Tech shirts did you see?
Oh God!
Over UVA and WVU. WVU's got a decent showing in the Tidewater.
Yeah, I keep telling people the most popular team in Virginia is Virginia Tech. It's not
easy.
Virginia.
Yes.
Easily. And anybody who's born and raised in the Tidewater area is a Virginia Tech fan.
Yes.
That's what they grow up rooting for. Like all the military people have their teams, but you have the locals who are all in on Hokies. They're all in on, all in on it. And now.
And that's the second biggest media market that you have in the Commonwealth is the Tidewater.
Tidewater area.
And here's the thing, too, that you got to remember. Frank Beamer was competing for national championships. Everybody loves a winner.
Yes, he was.
Everybody loves a winner. When somebody's winning, you see all kinds of T-shirts out there. So Virginia Tech hasn't won since Beamer. I think, And Go Black 45 brings this up. Virginia Tech is really pushing for AAU status. The administration might want to spend their money on that first. We've talked about it before. It's a beauty pageant on expansion
it is.
candidates.
Yep.
And it's not just AAU. They're going to take sports into account. And what Virginia Tech had more than anybody else when Frank Beamer was there, that atmosphere, that running game, special teams, like just the most incredible special teams play, running quarterbacks. Virginia Tech doesn't have an identity anymore.
No.
Yeah, they don't have an identity.
Like, they don't have an identity in any sport. That's what's so odd to me.
Yeah.
They are really good in a lot of sports. Not great, but good. Now they're just kind of all meh.
They are one of two teams to never win a team national championship in any sport. Virginia Tech and Kansas State.
It's what?
Never won a national championship in a team sport.
Oh, God. This game.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Boise State was bull. Top 25 ranked Boise State. And I think everybody in our group picked Boise State to be the G6 representative in the college football playoff. South Florida absolutely shellacked. It was never close. South Florida scored 34 unanswered points after trailing 7-0 early, marked the largest margin in which they recovered from a deficit to finish the game. Jeez. South Florida looked really, really good. Boise State just did not look good at all. They looked terrible. I don't think I can remember the last time I saw a Boise State team that played that bad.
Boise State brought back pretty much everybody but two offensive linemen and Genty. The quarterback's back, the receivers are back, backup running back. They looked like they didn't know how to play football. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball outside of one drive. That's it. They got just owned by South Florida. I'll be honest, I did not pick them because I was like, I didn't pick them to be the G6. I picked Oregon State. That was stupid too. But I thought Boise State would roll South Florida. I thought the score would be reversed. Like, South Florida's not great.
And believe it or not, Boise State outgained South Florida.
Yeah.
By a few yards. Dominated the time of possession. 3 turnovers. No turnovers for South Florida, by the way. Absolutely no turnovers. But, I mean...
Outplayed, outcoached.
Yeah, did Ashton Genty you expect a fall off on the rushing attack. Yeah, Ashton Genty wants a generational type running back, but
yeah.
But I mean, this bad.
Let's redo the Heisman and just give it to Genty because God,
yeah,
there's no way they're this bad without him.
This was a version of the North Carolina game. Boise State came out fairly quick, scored a touchdown, and then just collapsed.
Yeah, Madsen, the quarterback from Boise State, absolutely terrible game. About 50% completion ratio, 225-yard passing, multiple turnovers. On the other side of the ball, Byron Brown for South Florida, dynamic. 16 of 24 for 210 pass yards, rushed for 2 touchdowns. Was really a dual threat on the field. Fantastic job by South Florida. I clipped the headline, new identity. Absolutely. I don't think anybody had South Florida picked to win this game.
Yeah. No. Boise State's got Eastern Washington Air Force next to, and then they got a bye. They got Eastern Washington have a bye, then they have to play at Air Force. Then they've got Appy State. And Appy State, they're questionable. They're not the same Appy State that you had from 5 years ago.
But at least it's at home. That game's at home.
Yes, that game is in Boise. Yes.
No,
Justin R with the $5 super chat says, I told y'all on the MD 2020 show that this would happen. Most people don't remember what happened on the MD 2020 show, Justin, but the G5 race is wide open now. Now, if we hold our own versus Florida this weekend, yeah, that's a big game. I mean, a lot of people might be taking USF in the points on that one. I don't know. South Florida looked really good.
It looks so good. And
what's
Florida
the point spread on that?
I don't know at the top of my head. You have to go in the Discord and see. Because I think that is one of the games we are picking this week, and I put it in the Discord.
I said Florida would cover, so
I think I took South Florida because I thought the points were a little too extreme.
I just said because it's in the swamp, I thought South Florida would probably get blown out.
Florida by 17.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a little excessive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's so hard because Florida didn't. They played an FCS team, so it's very difficult to kind of get a gauge on Florida.
Right, and yeah, we'll see. Hey guys, I don't think that USF is going to beat Florida, but again, new identity. If USF plays them tough, if that's a 7-point game or a 10-point game, maybe start having to look at USF as being at least the favorite among the G6 to get into the college football playoff.
Yeah, South Florida has Miami next week.
Yeah, they got some tough games.
They got Miami and Florida in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, but I don't think that they're going to hold the college football playoff committee is going to hold too much against them if they're competitive in those games. Now, if they get just absolutely blown out, yeah, they're going to, they're going to hold that against them. But 17.5 points, I couldn't see that. Mr. Monkey says, I'll take USF. Fergie says, Becky, I like you a lot. Travis Hunter is him, period. Strike one.
I mean, once in a generation running back. There hasn't been a running back like him in college football since Barry Sanders.
Listen, I'm going to go ahead and say that Travis Hunter did deserve to win because he played offensive and defensive side.
Yeah. I said that when he won it, I said I would have voted for Genty, but I get why he won it. And I'm like, he's top 10 at both positions in college football. Like nobody else can say that.
I agree. I would have voted for Hunter, but I would have been conflicted on him because I do think Ashton Genty was just such a special running back. I'm just interested to see how he does in the NFL.
Yeah. The difference for me was Genty got his team to the playoff. Literally carried them. So, and most valuable player, he was the most valuable. Clearly, you take him off, and they're horrible. But no, I mean they haven't been beat this bad since they opened up at Washington back in 2023. Because they got blown out like this by Michael Penix.
By the way, you will notice Spencer Danielson, the coach at Boise State, took responsibility. Our mentality and our effort was nowhere near the standard it needs to be at Boise State, and I take absolutely full responsibility for that in all three phases. There might be another coach in the state of Florida, not at USF, but in the state of Florida. Might want to maybe take that quote and try and learn something from it.
I don't know. I like Alex Golsh's. I like Alex Golsh's quote there. That's good. That's fun stuff.
Always want to train for a bar fight. Well,
you got one.
Devil Frog, congrats on the big win this week. Devil Frog, Rice or Tulane will represent the G6 in the playoffs. Tulane did look very good.
Okay,
Rice.
I can see Tulane. Rice, I gotta hear the reason behind Rice.
Someone's gonna have to convince me on Rice.
Yeah. Tulane, I understand. They picked up Retzloff as a quarterback, and they're going to play okay. Rice, I mean, they've been bad for years.
I don't know, and I don't even know in my lifetime when Rice was good.
Yeah.
Buffs stung by Tech. This was actually a close game. I really enjoyed this game. Georgia Tech 27 over Colorado 20. Brent Key said it perfectly. The difference was our ability to run the football. Georgia Tech had some turnover problems in this game. Right out the bat, right out the gate, they turned the ball over. Colorado used it to score. Deion Sanders was questioned regarding the timeouts. I saw Fergie mention that earlier. If we hit the darn plays, we wouldn't be asking these questions. We had the plays. We just didn't make it happen. Do you call a timeout there? No, you're running tempo. Interesting stat. Georgia Tech notched its very first regular season win in the Mountain Time Zone since 1978, snapping a 47-year drought.
How many games have they played in the Mountain Time Zone?
Probably one.
Not many.
It's more than one. It's more than one.
I was about to say, you don't hear Georgia Tech going into the Mountain Time Zone all that often.
Very often, yeah.
Like, who are they playing in the Mountain Time Zone? Wyoming, Boise,
Wyoming,
BYU,
Colorado,
BYU,
Utah.
Yeah, they've had some Mountain West, but
Arizona,
it's
Arizona
been pretty,
State, depending on the time of the year.
Yeah, it's been a 47-year drought, and they snapped it. Georgia Tech gets a big win. Brent Key, again, I think Georgia Tech's a dark horse to maybe make the ACC championship game this year. I really like Georgia Tech. I was really surprised with how well Colorado did. I thought this was going to be a much larger beatdown than it was. Of course, again, Georgia Tech did themselves no favors, multiple turnovers. What did you guys think of this game? We'll start with you, Daniel. You're a Big 12 guy. What'd you think?
Colorado, there were a lot of times they called some weird plays, and then some of the time, the timeout issues that they had were unbelievable. And I thought Colorado was going to win this, and then they just fell flat in the fourth quarter.
What'd you think, Becky?
Oh, I thought they came out and matched the physicality of Georgia Tech really well. Georgia Tech's offensive line is really, really good. They have at least one or two, top 5 draft they have 2 guys that are going to go in the first couple rounds on that offensive line. Probably a first rounder. I think it's the guard or one of the tackles. He's crazy good. I just thought, we've never seen Colorado play physical football. They matched it. They matched it well. They hit them, and they hit them hard. They kept going. This game was back and forth. I loved it. This was a fun game. Granted, it was I'm like, oh my God, this was a week ago. But my big takeaway on that was this. We didn't know what they were going to do offensively without Shedeur Sanders. They played pretty much the same. It looked almost identical, and it's a first time starting quarterback. He was pretty damn good. I liked it. I like Colorado. They've got some scrappy little talent. They might be putting it together here. It's just going to take them a minute.
Yep. 320 total rushing yards for Georgia Tech in this game. 320. And yes, you've had both the Haynes. You had Haynes King. He ran it quite a bit. You had the running back, Haynes, run it quite a bit. It was just, they just could not stop themselves with the turnovers. You'd see every time they would get something going, turn the ball over, turn the ball over, turn the ball over. Tech actually had 463 yards of total offense compared to Colorado's 305 yards of total offense. Good news for Colorado, no turnovers.
Yeah.
Turnovers had been a problem last year. They seem to get the turnover problem situated. Caden Salter did very good protecting the ball. Only had 159 yards passing, did have a rushing touchdown, but they did well.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia Tech had 6 guys carry the football.
Yeah.
They ran it 48 times to 21 passes. That's insane.
This is the next 3 for Colorado. Delaware, at Houston, Wyoming, and then the 4th game they've got BYU going to Boulder, Georgia Tech, Gardner-Webb, and then the following week they've got Clemson in town. So
Temple and Wake Forest right after that.
Yep.
Devil Frog says, look at Rice's schedule, and they just beat one of the best G6s in the Raging Cajuns.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know Rice played.
They're in Conference USA.
I know. I'm just saying, I'm joking. I was like, I forgot they even played. I didn't see their score. Could I go find them?
Fergie says, Prime was totally wrong on the timeouts. Period. Was a weird ending. Rewatch was better than live. Haynes King will not survive running that much. He was dinged. Congrats, Tech.
Yeah,
you're right, but they're going to have to run Haynes King a lot. I mean, that's how they open up the pass. So, Mr. Monkey says, I've heard Georgia Tech like 10 times, and you should have drank 10 times. Mr. Monkey says, I don't have any whiskey here with me to drink. Apologies.
Rice beat Louisiana 14-12. Then they have Houston at home, Prairie View A&M at home. Then they're at Charlotte, at Navy, Florida Atlantic, at UTSA, UConn, and Memphis with UAB. Yeah, they've got crap. South Florida in the year. They could do it.
Okay.
They're going to lose 3 games, but
Utah, TCU, Arizona State, Iowa State, BYU, Kansas. Who you got on top of the Big 12? I have
WVU.
I picked Arizona State. Daniel has WVU.
Well, I've got Iowa State winning the conference. Okay. I'm a firm believer in Rocco Becht.
Don't look at me. I picked Kansas State, and they're hot garbage.
Okay.
The Irish curse.
Listen, I picked Arizona State, but after week 1, I am not confident in it. TCU really surprised me. The next game we're going to talk about really surprised me. One of the teams in there, BYU. Let's see them go up against competition. That game at Colorado is going to tell us a lot.
Yeah.
The key to Georgia Tech winning the ACC College Conference Championship game is Brent Key. Very well, John. Yeah. Very good. I think Brent Key is a good coach. Okay. Did Dad slap the shit of the Police sister this week? Talking about the Kansas State quarterback, Avery Johnson's father and brother, fisticuffs in Ireland. Father and son getting into a fist fight in Ireland. Who would have thought?
In the pouring down rain.
In the pouring down rain. Last game we're going to cover before we get to the polls. Bruins bruised by the Brutes because the Utah team absolutely brutalized UCLA. UCLA is in trouble. Deshaun Foster, after going down 20-0, we just didn't execute well. You didn't execute well before you went down 20-0. It all came down to execution, and we didn't do it at a high level. Speaking of his quarterback, Kyle Whittingham said, I would rate his first performance an A+. Absolutely. The flow of the game, run-pass ratio was outstanding. He's electric. His game resembles Kyler Murray. But Devon is doing a great job. Utah's defense held UCLA scoreless for 42 straight minutes.
Yep.
Spanning from the middle of the first quarter to late in the fourth, and that was a gimme touchdown late in the fourth. During that stretch, Utah's offense scored 33 unanswered points. I don't know if UCLA is just this bad or if Utah is really, really good and they have bounced back. I'm leaning towards Utah is a really, really good team.
How much are they paying Nico to play quarterback there at UCLA?
3.7 was the number I heard.
I heard something around there. Now, they said it was 35,000 people that were there at the Rose Bowl. I'm not believing that because it looked rather empty. So you're sitting there thinking that a guy that could have been at Tennessee, yes, there were questions on how much money Tennessee was going to pay him, but if Tennessee got blown out by 33 points, you would have heard everybody screaming how bad things are in Tennessee. UCLA getting blown out by 33 points, everybody just shrugs and say, they've got a bad team. UCLA's a mess. And it's going to end up being even a bigger mess coming down the pipe just due to the fact that, yes, they have to go to UNLV, then New Mexico, Northwestern, which Penn State, Michigan State. I mean, that schedule does them no favors.
I picked UCLA because I thought the spread was a little too egregious. The spread was 6.5.
Yeah.
Favoring Utah, obviously. Utah, 80 total offensive plays, totaling almost 500 yards of total offense, guys.
Yes.
Kevin Dampier completed 21 of 25 for 206 yards passing with 2 touchdowns, and then he carried the ball 16 times for an additional 87 yards and a rushing touchdown. Becky, which is it? Is Utah really, really good, or is UCLA really, really that bad?
UCLA's offensive line is hot garbage bad. The biggest issue is their offensive line. Couldn't block anything. Like at all. Like they were horrible. Like I felt bad for Nico. Like I don't wish ill will on anybody, but I really was like, dude's gonna get killed if they keep this O-line out here much longer. I was like, just yank it. No, Utah's good. They brought in a new offensive coordinator, brand new system, quarterback who played in that system. It's not the same old run, throw offense. It's throw, run, mix it in. They're more high flying this year, and it's totally what I thought that they would be. It was more innovative, and credit where credit's due. Like it's hard for UCLA to prepare for that because you don't know what they're running. It's not a lot of tape. You just have to go back to where they used to be, which I think was like New Mexico or something like that. Like you have to go find old tape and you have to find the coordinators and then go from there. But no, UCLA is bad. They're terrible. We can say it out loud. They're terrible. They have recruits coming in next year. They have a top 15 recruiting class, top 20, something like that. But my big thing was later, like Deshaun Foster lives in like, I don't know what reality he's living in, but like he just seemed to just kind of chalk it up to just like, we're okay if we do this. And it's like, no, you were bad at all facets of this game, dude. Like, I can't remember the quote, but he said something that was like, just everybody, even UCLA fans were like, why are you saying that?
He said they went back and watched the tape and it wasn't as bad as they thought it was. And what tape did they watch?
Yeah.
I mean, it was awful.
It was awful.
Utah, we're talking about how bad the offensive line for UCLA is. How about the defense? Utah went 14 for 17 on third downs. They scored every single time they crossed the field. Once they got in UCLA territory, they were getting points out of it. Utah defense had 4 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. UCLA's defense didn't even have a single tackle for loss.
And you know what'll kill me is UCLA will have 5 dudes off that defense drafted this year. Watch. And you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to say about UCLA other than like what a friend of mine who's a Bruins dad was, we just suck right now and we can't figure out how to pull our heads out of our ass and admit it.
They just got the hot quarterback, a guy that was in the playoffs last year, and seriously, they played that bad.
He had no shot at making them good, and people are like, "Oh, Tennessee won the trade," and you're like, "No, put that Tennessee quarterback behind that line. It's still 43-10."
Yeah,
bad. It was bad. Like Nico didn't have much time to do anything. It's bad.
Yeah, Utah was definitely on point. Deshaun Foster. Listen, it's a question of, well, who do you go get? I don't know. Go to Cal and get Justin Wilcox. Maybe he can actually teach him some defense. And it would be funny if they stole from Cal again. Since they have to take Calamoni, they'll just go take their coach.
What's killing me is their defense coordinator was a linebacker coach under Chris Peterson. They're running the same system that Washington ran 8-9 years ago. That was really, really good. They just don't have the dudes to do it. They don't have the Vita Veas of the world to run this defense.
And the Cal Bears did go up there to Corvallis and win.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, because they were like, we need to find a quarterback. That's our biggest issue. We don't play offense. I told everybody, I was like, Cal's going to be better than you think if they can find a quarterback. They just need. Justin Wilcox's problem has always been on the offensive side of the ball. It's never his defense.
Yeah,
it's always a pain in the ass to score on. But if you get the ball 15 times with 30 yards to go, you're going to score 8 times.
Absolutely. Troll Grinding Cheek Clapper says UCLA counts all their paid snack booth workers, custodians, security guards as part of their total attendance. They use to hand out free tickets to kids in the Pasadena Unified School District.
It's called tickets distributed.
Paper.
Every school does that, by the way.
Yeah, you paper tickets. Well, Ohio State certainly doesn't do it because they've never given me one for free. I've always had to pay.
If anybody wants to know, there is a story from the LA Times. They did it. They got the Freedom of Information. They got the actual information on the number of tickets scanned at each game. Not bought, but scanned, actually used.
Actual gate attendance.
Yeah. This is stuff that no college football team wants you to actually know. And
that's going to be ugly.
Yeah. It's out. He released it this morning. It's behind a paywall, and I don't pay for the LA Times. It's not my local paper. But if you do,
yeah, there's a way to get around that, Becky. I'll show you.
Oh, yeah.
Last thing we're going to talk about, AP poll, coaches poll. New number 1, obviously, Ohio State after beating Texas. Texas falls to number 7. Penn State's at 2. LSU makes the biggest move. They're up to number 3. Georgia at 4. Miami at 5. Oregon at 6. Texas at 7. Clemson at 8. Notre Dame at 9. South Carolina at 10. I just don't understand how Texas, Clemson, and Notre Dame are ahead of South Carolina.
I think
I get it, ranked opponents, but I don't understand how after that performance against Alabama, they dropped Alabama from 8 to 21. They added Florida State at 14.
Yeah.
That's too low. You know what I mean? That Florida State should be like right next to South Carolina, right next to Illinois.
It's still early. It's
still early.
Yeah, I'm not.
I know, but come on.
I mean, they made the jump in, and they made a huge
Yeah.
jump because they didn't receive a single vote for. So
No. And that's the
Coaches,
thing. There's still 11 games left.
Yeah.
They can move further up.
I mean, Indiana dropped and they won.
well, they should have dropped because they didn't
They should
cover.
have dropped. They played like crap.
They played like absolute ass. Illinois, on the other hand, Illinois actually did cover and screwed up one of my parlays by half a point, and they looked really good. But we'll have to see when they actually have to play somebody that's got some real players on the team. Coaches poll.
Was that the parlay that could have won you $9,000?
No, that was a 10-leg parlay. I
Okay.
lost that one right away.
Okay.
No, I had 2 4-leg parlays this week. Lost both of them by half a point on one game. Illinois screwed me on one game. I forget who the other one was that screwed me, but Illinois did look really good. Coaches poll, Ohio State 1, Penn State 2. They've got Georgia at number 3. They've got LSU at number 4, Oregon at number 5. Oregon looked really good too. Texas only falls to 6. I don't understand how Miami can win a top 10 matchup over Notre Dame and not be in front of Texas. Coaches, try and help me understand that one because you've still got Notre Dame at 9.
I mean, they don't watch the games.
No.
They look at the stats and just go by the stats.
The SID usually helps fill that thing out.
Yeah, that's a joke. Absolute joke. Miami should be in front of Texas. Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense to me, but we'll see.
I don't even understand why Arizona State's in the top 10 on that poll either, considering
Well,
they didn't play anybody themselves. Like South Carolina did play it. You know, there's some teams that played better teams that won too. So,
but it's still early. So
yeah, I'm not concerned.
Notre Dame lost. They're still in the top 10. Bullcrap. Hey, listen, that's what I'm telling you guys.
Yep.
Notre Dame is always going to get. They're always going to get that. So, we're going to wrap it up, guys. We went a little long tonight, but this is our first episode of The Take. We'll try and get a little more streamlined for next week. Pickles will be joining us next week. So for myself, for Daniel Gygax, for Becky Go Huskies, thanks everybody for joining us. Hopefully you have a good rest of your week, and we will catch you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.